Hey guys, it's Austin with OutJeeping. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to install extended front brake lines in your Jeep Cherokee XJ. Now, instead of going out and buying aftermarket extended brake lines that cost about $100, I went the cheap route and got some Chevy brake lines right here. And these are about as long as extended brake lines that you get aftermarket, but they're a lot cheaper and you can save a lot of money. These right here ran me about 13 bucks. I bought them off Amazon. And I'll put a link in the description below on where you can find yours. But basically, these are off a 1994 Chevy Silverado 1500 two-wheel drive, and people have used them before, so I'm going to give it a shot today. So let's get started. Alright, so we're going to be working on the passenger side first. So to make it easier, I'm just going to be removing the front tire. I already broke it free and got it jacked off the ground. So just going to undo the lug nuts and take it off. Alright, so as you can see right here, I still have my stock brake line and I'm running about a 4.5 inch lift. Now, I plan on going long arms in the near future, so this isn't just going to cut it. I initially had a rough country lift kit and I'm slowly swapping out parts with better ones as I go along. And one of these things was part of rough country's solution to temporary, extend the brake line. Basically, it's a bracket that comes and extends this mount out further because from the factory setup, we got the hard line coming down and it would actually bend over here, and by pushing it out this way it gives you an extra couple of inches of clearance. Now, another solution you can do for extended brake lines is actually use YJ Wrangler lines, and they're a couple inches longer than stock. That's if you have, a small lift. I think you can go up to a 4.5 inch lift, short arm, you'll be fine. But instead of going with YJ lines, I'm going with Chevy 1500 brake lines because they're about 25 inches long compared to the factory, which has 17 or 18 inches long brake lines. So I'll have plenty of room to flex out with my long arms that I'm going to put on in the future. So to start off with, I'm basically just going to be taking the old brake line off. Now with the Chevy brake line, they have a little bit of a different attaching point. This little bracket, it's kind of crimped down in the middle of the hose. And I think we can get in there with a screwdriver, just pry it apart a little bit. That way we should be able to slide it up all the way towards the end and then just crimp it just a little bit so it hangs on there at the end. That way we can probably use this existing hole up here on the body and bolt it in that way. So I'm going to start off by removing the old brake line. Make sure you have a catch pan underneath because you're going to be draining out some brake fluid. Right, so this Torx up here, it's going to be a T40. But before I get that totally off, I'm going to remove the line down here. That way I still have some grip. Well, that side broke off, so we're actually going to have to put a new flare on this end and put a new fitting on there. That'll happen when you have rusty lines. But I'm going to continue to take off the soft line. And then on the back of the caliper, there's going to be one bolt, and that's going to be a 14 millimeter. So there's going to be some fluid coming out of the caliper. Just make sure you have a thing underneath so it catches it all. Alright, so after fiddling around a little bit, I found out that to make the brake lines work the best, you have to use the driver's side on the passenger side and the passenger side brake line on the driver's side. Now, another thing you have to do is grind down a little bit on the edge over here, and that's because there's a little bit of an edge on the caliper and you want to make sure that clears it so it locks into position. The reason why I'm using the driver's side is because you want it to go up when you put the brake line on, this little piece of hard line. Because if you were to use the driver's side, it would be pointed down, but you say, why can't you just flip it upside down? And then if you look right here, this little piece kind of sticks out, so this would have to be sitting flat against the caliper, and it can't with this little bit of kink here, so you would have to grind down over here a little bit more, but it works out easier if you just use the driver's side. So just to mock this up, I'm putting a bolt in, this side in, and then I also was able to loosen up this bracket. You basically just simply take a screwdriver while you hold this in a vise, and then you can open it up, and then you should be able to slide it all the way to the end and then re-crimp it down. So now when we have the brake line set into place, we can use the existing hole on the body to line it up right there, and then we'll put our torque screw into there, and then you might have to cut your hard line a little bit, put a new flare on there. I'm going to have to do that anyway, but we can basically line that up, and then they should go together nicely right there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and put a new flare on my hard line up here. I'm not going to show you how to do that. I'll do that in another video. Alright, so I got a new flare on that hard line up here, and it's all looking good. So now we can go and install the new brake line. First thing I'm going to do is screw in the hard line to the soft line up here. Now before we tighten that down all the way, I'm going to mount this bracket onto the body over here. I also drilled out these holes so that our bolt that goes to the body can fit perfectly, since they were a little bit small. And now we're actually going to have to bend this just a little bit, fit it into place. Probably not much at all. It's going to go right there. So they can take our bolt. And you can start to thread it into place. So once we get that bracket tightened down, you can take a 5/16 wrench, and you can use that to hold it up while you tighten the top. Alright, we should be good on that side. Now we just got to take this end and attach it to our caliper. So now when attaching the brake line down here, we got 2 copper washers that come with the new brake line. We're going to put one on this side, and then stick it through, and then put another copper washer on the other side, and then we can thread it into place. Alright, so if you've already done the other side, the last thing you need to do is bleed the system. There's a few ways you can do that, but I'm not going to show that in this video. Alright guys, we're all done. It was a pretty simple installation, and as you can see, the Chevy brake lines work just fine. Now I'll post a link in the description below on where you can find yours. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something. Make sure to like and subscribe to the OutJeeping YouTube channel to help keep these videos coming. And as always, make sure to comment below if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer. So until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.